just to be a little off script for a second, it is so cool to see so many of you here. It's been so long, it feels like high holidays. To me, I feel nervous, and I do this a lot. But it's really great. Even if I only see half your face and you're very spread out, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. There you go. See, there's even more Shabbat Shaloms. Amazing. I saw something on the internet recently. Someone tweeted, "Other people when COVID is over, hooray, freedom, let's go out." Me, no. I thought it was funny. Look, I am also super ready for all of this to be over. All the anxiety of COVID, and I can do without that anxiety. Not being able to travel, for fun or to see my family who are a plane ride away. I would like to do that again. And not being able to see my congregants. I've missed you guys. I miss you guys. I hope the feeling's mutual. I miss being able to be with you. But I feel oddly mixed when I think about looking forward to going back, if that makes sense. The idea of going back to how things were before. I want this to be over, but I don't know if we're supposed to go back. As Jews, though, we love looking backwards. We love recalling memories, telling and retelling stories. We are still right now celebrating Passover for the past week. Passover, and what is Passover? If not retelling the same story that we've been doing, the story of the Exodus from Egypt. That was thousands of years ago. And we do it every year. We tell the same story, same looking back, every year. But as much as Judaism loves looking backwards, as much as Jews love looking backwards, we are actually warned against nostalgia in the Torah. You know that old joke, why did the Jews wander for 40 years in the desert? Because Moses didn't pull over and ask for directions. Ha, 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 ha. Because it's weird, right? 40 years, it took 40. I don't care how slow you walk. It's not going to take 40 years to walk from Egypt to Israel. They're not that far apart. So why did it take the Israelites so long? Turns out, the Torah actually literally gives the answer for that. When Pharaoh let the Israelites go, the Torah says, God did not take them on the shorter route. What? Why? Peninechem ha'am. Lest the people have a change of heart and return to Egypt. So, the Torah says, God led them the roundabout way, which apparently took 40 years. Sforno, one of my favorite medieval rabbis, an Italian guy, says that there was a concern that the Israelites might start to miss Egypt. Despite all the troubles, the slavery, they would start reminiscing about the life they had before, and so they might be tempted to go back, to voluntarily live in the world that they left behind. The Torah is showing us the danger of nostalgia, that looking back is one thing, but wanting to go back is another, because we are moving forward. The Torah teaches that we are always moving forward. And that's what we have to focus on. We glean from the past. We learn the lessons of the past. We tell the same Passover story every year. Why? Because every year we can glean something new from it. But we never are supposed to stop and go, wow, I really wish I could go back. As Jews, we know we are always only going forward. We are moving forward. Our focus has to be on who we are becoming. I look forward to the day I am so excited when, like before, we once again live in a world free from the worry of COVID. And also, we have learned so much about ourselves in this time. We have innovated. In COVID times, our creativity is through the roof. And as we move forward, I want to take everything that I have learned. We need to take everything that we have learned during this incredibly trying time with us. I think about the resilience that we have learned, that we have, the empathy and the drive, the desire to move on and succeed and bring others with us and to thrive. We've learned that about ourselves. How our hearts have had to expand during this very difficult period in history. To care for our families and our communities and our society, we've had to learn to care for ourselves in a whole new way. That's important. We can't leave that behind. We can't go back. And I think about the fact that we brought an entire society online, and it was tough. It has been tough, it is tough. And there are lots of ways that this virtual reality has downsides that I will be happy to leave behind. Lots of virtual stuff is not so good. I'm glad to be rid of that. But now, because of our human drive for connection and innovation, people can join classes and attend religious services and go to museums and go to lectures. We can join community from wherever we are. Yes, the people on the couch with the tablet, that's great, but there are people who have never had access like this before. I think of the parents of small kids who have worked all day and go home and they got to do the bedtime routine. And if you have a kid that age, you know what I'm talking about. You got to do dinner, you got to do bath, you got to do book, you got to do all the stuff. And you don't have time. Pre-COVID, you would never have the time to do all the stuff you had to do to put your kid to bed and then rush over to a class to go learn. Who has time? No one has time for that. But now, you can listen in on a class from the comfort of your own home while you're taking care of your kid. That's an all-new thing available because of this. There are folks who are working late, or they're at the office, or maybe they're traveling for work and they're out of town, but they can still join in or be a part of discussions, be a part of communities now in a way they couldn't before because no one was set up for it. They didn't have to be. And there are folks who are disabled. I was talking recently to someone who I love very much, and they're disabled, and they were saying something I had not even thought of, never occurred to me before, but they said that they and others in the disabled community are mourning the end, the anticipation of the end of this COVID time. And I thought it was such a weird thing to say because aren't we all just really excited and looking forward to it? But they said that the accommodations and the accessibility of institutions and communities that sprung up during this time out of necessity for able-bodied folks, suddenly stuck at home because of a pandemic, with only a computer to access the outside world, so the world went virtual and visual and subtitled and volume controlled, and there's a worry among many in the disabled community that now that will all be gone. It will be retracted when the non-disabled don't need it anymore, when we go back to life like it was before. Look, we're gonna come back. We are coming back. I see it in front of me. It is beautiful, and I literally had tears in my eyes as we were saying the prayers earlier. Thank God for this, the rebirth. It is so heartening and exciting. I just don't think we can go backward, dismissing all of the accommodations and the accessibility. Our society has innovated. I don't think I want to go back to that world because it means leaving some folks behind. And we can't go back to pre-COVID times because those times are behind us. The people who we were in those times are behind us. We're becoming different people. We're growing. We're developing. We're evolving. It's good. We're moving forward, and the Torah beseeches us to glance back, to recall our hard-earned lessons about the depths of our capability to care, about the expansiveness of our hearts, about accessibility of society and communities for all people. And in glancing back and learning from it, we can continue with our growth as we move forward. I feel the pull of nostalgia, I do, for how things used to be, for a world that has changed so much. And I mourn what I have lost, what we all have lost during COVID. But the Torah warns us to not let nostalgia stick us in a rut, dreaming of life as it was before we grew. To not let nostalgia derail us from becoming the best version of ourselves, the best version of our communities, of our society, that we are capable of being, and that perhaps we are truly meant to be. As Pesach and the pandemic, God willing, wind down and freedom awaits us, I am looking back. I think we all can look back and find the things we want to take, the ways we made ourselves better, our society and our communities better, and then turn together and march forward to a brighter and better tomorrow for all of us. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Pesach Sameach.